Right, so I promised you that I will show you the ranking order of all principles based on their importance. Now, here it is. Conformity was the second most important principle, the one that is using a picture of someone looking at you or the opt-in box. And this was followed by the rhetorical question, ensuring a positive attitude. Social labels followed, then mentioning past actions. And the least important principle was social proof, one of the most promoted in the popular literature and conferences, by the way. But the single most important principle was perceived control. Giving people autonomy and control over a decision may reduce reactance and minimize the desire to move away from the original request. There are obviously many ways you could deliver on control. What we examined in this study was giving control over the communication stream. We decided to do this because we believe that the business model is broken as it's solely based on volume. This is how many communications a donor might receive in a month. In this case, that's me. And this is a screenshot of my inbox. This volume of communication and in multiple channels can have a negative consequence. It can drive people away and it can lead to active opt-outs. This is because over-solicitation has been found to create irritation. This is a study, and there are others backing this data up, showing that excessive mailing can have a negative impact on annual donation. The irritation caused by excessive mailing also has an additional negative impact on annual donation. So sending too much mailings could be counterproductive. There is also evidence that people are frustrated about the lack of control over whether or not they were approached for fundraising and the lack of transparency over how their details were acquired. So maybe we can address the irritation donors feel and the reduced donations caused by over-solicitation by giving donors the control they crave for. Going back to our study, we gave donors control over the frequency or the way that they will be contacted and see whether that would increase their likelihood to opt in. So compared to lack of any control, we gave participants control over two things. The first was channel. You can see here we gave them the options of email, text, post, and phone, and we also tested whether there are any context effects. In this case, having a phone option might make email and post more attractive compared to a version that doesn't have a phone option. The second type of control we gave them was frequency. And once again, we also tested for context effects to see whether removing annually might make any other of the options more attractive. Now, here are the results. We immediately see that any type of control is better than not having any, significantly better than not having any. And what is quite interesting and very helpful for the charities to know is that giving channel control is better or as effective as frequency control. When given the direct chance to reduce volume by changing the frequency, donors actually preferred channel control instead, the less direct way to control volume. The commercial world is already giving consumers control. And these here are screenshots of unsubscribed pages offering the consumer the option to control either the frequency or content of communications or both. There is no reason why this couldn't happen for charities too. We've seen that you could get away by using channel preference to avoid the controversial control over frequency. But could you also imagine using or offering control over the content to match people's preferences? This is a mock-up that we created of a hypothetical unsubscription page where you could say something along the lines, we'd like to stay in touch with you, but only in ways you find helpful. Please update your preferences to only receive emails on topics that are important to you or to unsubscribe completely. And then we can offer donors control over the content. Would you like to know how your money is used, beneficiary stories, emergency situation, the progress you help us make, and they can switch it on and off, and offer them control over the channel they'd like to be communicated to.